It was just another quiet Tuesday at Sunnyside Diner, nothing fancy. Just the kind of place where the linoleum floors creak a bit and the waitress, Sarah, knows your coffee order before you sit down. In the corner booth, 78-year-old James Washington sat with his back to the window, hands wrapped around a chipped white mug, watching the world pass by his world, a world that moved a little slower now, but was still full of stories nobody else could see. If you'd walked by, you might have just thought, old-timer, probably retired, killing time, but you'd be wrong. See, James had lived through enough to fill a dozen lifetimes, but on this particular afternoon, all he wanted was a quiet cup of coffee. He never got that. Right about the time the pie case started looking tempting, two squad cars came screaming down Maple Street and skidded to a stop outside, lights flashing, tires screeching, the whole 9 yards. I mean, you ever seen a quiet lunch explode like that? Doors fly open, officers Martinez and Collins stride in, boots heavy, eyes hard, everyone's forks frozen halfway to their mouths. The way they scan the place, you'd think they were hunting a fugitive, not a man finishing his sandwich. Their gaze locked on James. You could feel the shift, that moment when every eye in the diner flicks to one person and the world goes silent except for the buzz of the neon sign overhead. "Sir, stand up. Hands where we can see them." James just blinked, confusion on his face, but he complied slowly, like his bones remembered 1,000 mornings in a different kind of uniform. They didn't care for explanations, didn't care when Sarah jumped in. He's a regular. He's never caused trouble. Didn't care that James' biggest crime that afternoon was maybe too much sugar in his coffee. No, they were after a call about an elderly black male causing a disturbance at a bus stop. And in their eyes, James was all the evidence they needed. You know that feeling? When you're guilty until proven innocent, and your only defense is your own dignity. They cuffed him right there. Not rough exactly, but with that impersonal efficiency that stings more than bruises, and walked him out through the stunned silence. Phones raised, people whispering. That's the kind of walk that sticks to your soul. James didn't yell, didn't fight, didn't even ask when it really. Just that quiet question as they nudged him into the back of the cruiser. "Mind telling me what I did, son?" The ride to the station was silent, except for the hum of the city. James staring out, maybe remembering a time when he wore a different uniform, when men didn't judge you by the color of your skin but by whether you had their back in a foxhole. I think that's what broke Martinez for a moment. The way James just sat there, dignity unbroken, eyes miles away. At the station, they hustled James straight to Chief Rivera's office now. Chief Rivera was a man you'd call tired before you'd call him old. Hair graying, eyes that had seen too much and forgotten too little. He looked up, paperwork paused, and the room changed. See, Chief Rivera had seen this before too many times, if you ask him, but this time something was different. As Martinez rattled off the incident report, the chief's gaze caught on a tattoo half hidden beneath James' rolled-up sleeve. Military ink, faded but proud, 82 Indy Airborne, plain as day. The chief's voice changed, just a little as cop, more something else. He asked James about his service, and the air in that office thickened with memory. James spoke quietly, but every word landed like a stone. 3 tours in Vietnam. Echo Company, 68 to 71, near Da Nang. But when Chief Rivera asked about Firebase Charlie, James' face went somewhere else, back to that hellish night in 1970, mortars raining down, base burning, men screaming. He told them how he crawled through fire to drag out wounded, how he carried a kid named Michael Torres, 19, shrapnel in his leg through 200 yards of chaos, bullets snapping overhead, all the way to the medics. The room went silent. The kind of silence you remember, because Michael Torres was Chief Rivera's father. The man these officers had just arrested for looking suspicious was the same man who'd saved the chief's father's life decades earlier in a war nobody talks about anymore. That's when everything shifted. You could see Ich Rivera's hand shaking, eyes suddenly wet, words stuck in his throat. He ordered the cuffs off himself, voice rough. Martinez and Collins just stood there, shame written on their faces, realizing their mistake ran deeper than any bad call. This wasn't just a mistaken arrest. They'd cuffed a hero, the hero whose actions meant the chief even existed. Rivera's apology came out in pieces, but James just stood there still, proud, not bitter, and said, "It's all right. People see uniforms, not faces." You know what I mean? The grace in that moment was bigger than the room. James didn't launch into speeches about racism or demand justice. He talked about fear, about how easy it is to see only what you expect, about how everyone's got a story. He told them about his sons, his grandsons, good men who walked a world ready to judge them on sight, not substance. He forgave them, not because they deserved it, but because that's how the cycle breaks. And Chief Rivera told his own story, how his father came back from the war and became the man who shaped him, the man who taught him to serve and protect. For a moment, the line between cop and suspect, black and white, old and young, it just faded away. Word got out fast. By the time they found the real culprit, a guy 3 blocks down, completely unrelated, the whole station was buzzing. James sat and talked to a crowd of officers, some young, some just tired, sharing stories about Vietnam, about brotherhood that doesn't care what you look like, about how easy it is to get lost in your own assumptions. You could see faces changing, perspectives shifting. Martinez and Collins didn't just apologize, they listened. Maybe for the first time. Chief Rivera drove James back to the diner himself. No sirens this time, just 2 men talking. Sarah was waiting coffee on the house, apple pie too. The customers who'd watched him leave in cuffs saw him come back like a celebrity, heads nodding, some embarrassed they hadn't said more. That night, the sun set over Maple Street a little softer, and in the corner booth, James looked like just another man again, but everyone there knew better. It didn't end there. Chief Rivera rewrote the department's training, made bias awareness a priority, made sure nobody got cuffed for being in the wrong place with the wrong face. Martinez and Collins started walking the neighborhoods, talking instead of just patrolling. Sunnyside Diner became a meeting place for tough conversations, race, forgiveness, what justice really means when the badge comes off and the story comes out. Sometimes you need to mess up big to learn what you should have known all along. So that's how it went. James Washington went back to his booth the next Tuesday, and the Tuesday after. Only now, when Martinez and Collins drove by, they'd wave, and James would wave back, a little grin on his face. What started as a moment of humiliation became a story about seeing past uniforms, past skin, past old scars. About learning, forgiving, and maybe, just maybe, starting over. If this story made you pause, maybe made you rethink the next time you judge someone on a glance or a rumor, well, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Share this story with someone who still believes in second chances, or needs a reminder that real heroes don't always wear capes or badges. And tell me in the comments, have you ever discovered a truth about someone you thought you knew, and did it change you? Because sometimes the stories that surprise us most are the ones we think we've already heard.